Yep, good morning. A lot of people are still waking up. Starting this, I wanted to get right into this Bill Clinton thing they were talking about. Keep hearing people bringing up Bill Clinton's economy and how he finished off and how he did so great. Today, we're going to come from a conservative perspective and we're going to explain exactly how he did that. But first, before I get into all of that, I want to explain a couple of details from the Clinton presidency. Okay, the first time the World Trade Towers were attacked, the terrorists were unsuccessful, and that was during Mr. Clinton's time in there. And not only that, but Mr. Clinton worked tirelessly while he was president to make sure that I'm pretty sure all of the terrorists went home free. So they blew up the building, but because of Mr. Clinton, you can go look it up. If you're watching this, you're on the internet, so you can go look it up right now if you wanted to. You can push pause and then go look. We'll review this as a video later if you're not streaming in live right now. And the USS Cole was attacked, and he basically told them to do what I call a lot of times it's a political statement that I say when a politician doesn't do anything for Americans or the military doesn't put them into action the way that I believe that they're designed for and should be used to strike fear into terrorists and to fight other people. Um, he told them, the Navy, to sit on their hands. So that was another thing that Mr. Clinton did that I do not believe that any Republican in my lifetime would ever do. Regardless of how much I disagree or am disappointed with a Republican in particular, I do not believe a Republican would tell the Navy to sit on their hands and free terrorists and try to close Gitmo and do stuff like that. But that's Bill Clinton's playbook. As far as he has for our national business goes. So, as far as our economics go for Mr. Clinton, so Mr. Clinton had about, I believe, I could be mistaken a couple of details, but I'm going to explain this uh, thoroughly to where people can understand um, how his economy looked good by the time he was done. So, Mr. Clinton, he did some things against factories, so he sent a lot of our jobs overseas. It made a lot of people have to move to Mexico, and he made our economy really bad. So there they had like an economic crisis because of him in the first place. So then towards the end, he was impeached. He was an impeached president. So he really had no other choice but to center. So you can go and push pause if you need, whenever you review this as a video later if you need. But um, he had to center. Okay, that means that he no longer plays his left field leftist all the way down the line. Um, where they just want what they want, and they're not working uh, on both sides of the aisle. So typically, a Republican will work both sides of the aisle, and the left will complain about it anyways. It's true, fact. But anyhow, they all complain, from what I understand. I'm not for necessarily right or left. I'm for the right, for things getting done right. Yes, I am. So, anyways, I'm for America, and I'm explaining the Bill Clinton economy and how Newt Gingrich came into play. So, Bill Clinton had, I don't know how long the man had in particular the Congress and the Senate in his pocket. Obama did for 2 years, and then he lost the Congress, right? Pelosi got dethroned. She's really terrible person, in my opinion. I mean, people try and stick up for her, but she's a liar. She is one of the biggest cunning liars I've ever witnessed. Just talks so much smack, and it's only obvious that people like that are communists. She live in Russia, and they act like they hate America, so they go to politics, and they got it lined out for these people in the sand where they can get the votes they need. Look at Corrine Brown here in Florida. I'm from Oregon, so I'm not afraid to speak my mind and tell everything how I see that. So, um, anyway, so Newt Gingrich comes into play. So he makes this contract with America thing. So remember, you had that impeachment thing with Bill Clinton. So he had kind of, in my opinion, he had no other choice but to center down the line and work with Newt Gingrich at that point. He could have tried to make the American economy crash as much as anybody wants to believe, but he got caught with his pants down, that didn't he? He did. So, anyhow, that's what basically you get. And again, they stole Lincoln furniture, like President Lincoln and other stuff like that. The Clintons did. When they left the White House, they stole artifacts from the White House that did not belong to them, that belonged to actually other presidents. So, anyhow, now we're moving on. I just want to talk a little bit about, I'm kind of confused. We're talking about discussion, what I want to have a discussion about. I just told you what how I perceive Bill Clinton, and I'm going to end that with no discussion. Now I want, as a discussion, I want to talk um, athletes, not necessarily if they're just black or some ethnic, but if they're poor, anyways, and they come from poor uh, standards of living, um, they get rich, right? These guys get rich, so how come their neighborhoods stay poor? How come their neighborhoods don't come up? I asked somebody, one person this before I come on here, and they said the education, a good education is the answer. So I have no idea, but you're not just talking about football players. You're talking about basketball players, um, anybody, anybody in particular. Do they help? You know, for those that do, that's great. Well, what do? They volunteer. They get people more prepped in sports and stuff like that. So I'm not so sure that sports is necessarily the answer for the world. So still got to come back home and you know look at where you're from in particular. So I just want to know how um, we're going to improve um, life as we know it in these neighborhoods. One way how I saw it, and it's a place here in Florida, it's called Green Cove Springs, and that place in particular, I would say, is a place where um, I wouldn't have a problem necessarily. I wouldn't think just because I'm white or if somebody's black, they wouldn't have a problem. Maybe with me, I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just telling you when I've been there. Um, so what I saw there was like potential. I saw um, like an adult high school uh, development center place. If they needed, man, somebody I talked to somebody else about that, and they said, "Oh, well, if they need it or whatever." Well, I mean, I think almost everybody else, I think that an education is going to improve everybody's life. What if some of these people want to be a lawyer? What if they got some book smarts, and they're poor or whatever, and I don't know necessarily. what the answer is as far as drugs go and their drug abuse, and how much that impacts them necessarily. But I know that I had another idea that I thought was a good one, was having a way to pay for specific uh, like paintbrushes and stuff. I have a pressure washer to be careful with those things. Those things can really injure you really bad if you're not careful with it. Um, but I saw um, cleaning it up from the start. If you start with the pressure washer, you're gonna have to use the paint, a little bit of sander, you know, but to make the place look respectable, it'll make the people feel good. And this is one where I thought where people might be able to start, maybe, but it takes the whole community to develop that thing. And I don't have funds, and I'm not about to go out and try and like raise a whole bunch of funds either. I'm not gonna try and necessarily. If I had a way to become rich, I wouldn't necessarily go and try and do that right at this point. Um, so I'm kind of in a little bit in the comfort zone. I don't like being jarred out of it or whatnot. It would be nice, but you also still have to look at people change. So I wouldn't want something like that to take me off of my idea. Trying to help somebody else out, especially if you came from a certain point and other people helped you out to get to where you're at. So, but it's a community thing, so um, it's not necessarily all about kissing somebody's butt, but sometimes it is about getting off of yours to go out and help somebody out and just do it for the hell of it. So anyhow, I don't know how come people stay down and why people are so uh hateful and rude sometimes, when up to this point, with all of the things that we have had, in the past decade or more, or 50 years even, up to this point, we could have all been very comfortable and not taken out of our comfort zone at all. Not be disreported out of situations that you're comfortable in, or you want more, and it'd be a problem because you want to succeed more, or it's a problem because you want to, have money or whatever it is. But I think everybody has to work at what they want. So, um, that one, I said I left that one up for discussion because I really don't know. We got a lot of people that are rich, they have money already, and yet there's still people that are bitter and down. You know, so I don't know. That's what I was wondering. So, all right, peace. That's all I got to say.